Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eve, this is Everyday Artist, and welcome. And this is Rogue. Say hi, Rogue. And Hank is here too, but he's lying down. Say hi, Hank. No? They're both thinking I'm going to give them part of my lunch, which I'm not interested in eating right now, even if I was going to give them any. So, yeah. That's bad. I'm here to talk to you about my cross stitch, what little of it there is. I have an FFO, and she's going on the side of the table where my sandwich is. You better not get it. Hi, Hank. And I have some crochet that I'm not particularly happy with. Just a long story. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'll try this one. Okay, I'll try this one. My blanket is doing better. But that's about it. Anyway, last week, Phoenix had a really bad rain, what they call haboob, dust storms. Took some tiles off of the top of the airport. Not tiles, big sections off of a certain part of it. It was huge. And if I can find the picture, I'll put it here of the dust storm coming in, because if you haven't seen these, you just wouldn't, it would be amazing to you to be able to see what they're like when they're coming in. But when you're in the midst of them, it's like fog, a brown fog, but it hurts because it's really high wind blowing at you, dirt. It gets in your eyes, it gets in every imaginable crevice in your house, and if you have windows that have even just a tiny gap, the wind will come in there along with the dirt. They tell you to pull off to the side of the road. They pass pretty quickly because there are high winds. The rainstorm we had that took out the trees behind us a few days before it was mostly just wind. I mean, there was a dust storm warning, but we didn't get one here. It wasn't as bad. This particular dust storm took out my sister's tree, which was huge, and knocked down part of their wall in between them and a neighbor, and hit part of the neighbor's house. But fortunately, she has very good neighbors, and they both were enjoying the shade from the tree. So they were actually both contributing to taking care of the tree. So, the neighbor was understanding. But pretty wild rainstorm. It was pretty terrifying for a while. Just the dust that blanketed so much of the city. On a happier note, I have 20/20 vision in my eyes. That doesn't mean I'm not going to still need reading glasses. It just means that my distance vision is amazing, which is great. I bought some readers at the Dollar Tree. If I decide to go ahead and go to the eye doctor and get prescription eyeglasses, I can do that, but I don't really have to, so that's good. I wanted to see what to start. My FFO. I had started this before I finished the other one. Excuse me. Sorry, I just got done talking for an hour. My throat's raw. And I'm sweaty because it's hot out today. OMG Tree by Crazy Annie Southern Style. I had toyed with the idea of putting a black ribbon bow down here to match the cat. I decided that I'm just going to leave it like this. And it doesn't have a hanger on the back because this is actually from Hobby Lobby's dishes area. They have little wooden spoons and stuff because, you know, it's like a little tiny... Why can't that word come to me right now? Charcuterie board. They have cutting boards and trivets and stuff like that. It's all this wonderful line. And I looked in the unfinished wood area and I didn't find anything I liked that cost as little. And this is already finished and very nice and smooth. And so I went with this. I had thought I wanted to do something with a tree, but yeah, no. And then I want to FFO my Phoenix, and I tried to find a Phoenix button, couldn't find one. Tried to find a fire button, couldn't find one. Now there are flowers, and I guess I could find a flower button, and I may do that. I found these gray buttons, which are on the floor, and I'm not going to pick up again. Little gray buttons. Maybe I will. Oh, trying to bend down and get it, and avoid the camera. And it would be there. And I thought, well, that looks kind of like smoke. Actually, now that I think about it, I might look and see if there's a flower button that would go well. It would have to be orange flowers. Yeah. Anyway, whatever I get, I'm going to have to live with, so I want to have it something that I really like. I have a new start, Tabby's Halloween, and I can't remember the name of this linen. I could look it up if anybody wants to know. It's 32 count linen. And yes, I was using a hoop on this because I wanted to spread the holes out. I thought I was going to have nothing to do that day, but best laid plans, you know, so I didn't have a lot of time to work on it. I do want to pick it up one more time before the 15th. Let's see if I have time. Then I did some more work on, this is one of my patterns I plan to concentrate on. Hands-on Design Blueberry, the berry basket. And I actually got a lot done on it. This is this middle part right here. And there's I did one of these. There's this one berry, and then it's got a little bit more of this kind of pattern. Yeah. Now, one of these colors barely shows up. And I thought about using a different fabric, but I decided I could live with it. Right here. You can see it in person better than you can see it on the camera. But I'm hopeful that before the 15th I can finish this. And then, speaking of close to a finish, Winter Deer by Tiny Modernist. All I have left to do is the lighter green, the red baubles that go here, here, and here, and a little bit of backstitching on this, and a couple of backstitch stars here and here. So I'm hoping I'll finish it this week. So that's the cross stitch, all of which I'm actually pretty happy with. I meant to show you my temperature chart when I was talking about the weather. Did I? I forgot. Under the Sea temperature chart, designed by myself for Three Sisters Creative. We now are in September. See that orange day? 97. That was Friday. Anyway, I'm inserting this at the end of my cross stitch stuff. Hopefully next week I can make a video without forgetting something. I'll blame the fact that I'm tired from having to work before I did this. Yesterday we had a showing, and I completely forgot that I had to go get the tablet from my sister's house, so I couldn't film it this morning before I went to my eye doctor appointment. Brain like a sieve. All right, thank you. How come for my crochet I always forget to take out the pattern pictures? Sorry about the noise. So I saw this freebie patchwork pumpkin. Each section is a different cross stitch pattern, and it starts with this red one, which is a moss stitch, and then goes to this, which is a lemon peel stitch, and then it has other patchwork colors and patterns. And here's where I am so far. But I didn't learn anything from working on my blanket, so I stitched this part too loose. And so this part is curling it because it's much wider. But I figure when I stuff the pumpkin, it'll be okay. There is that. And then I finished the eyeball coasters and I delivered them to my eye doctor this morning. And here's a picture. And then I tried to work on this. Then I pulled it out and tried again. And then I pulled it out and tried again. And the problem I'm having, and it's the third time, I'm like, I know I counted it right. I know I did. It's not even on either side. Why not? So I'm just going to pull out the color part, the change of color part, and put it where I'm just going to do the change color at a different spot to where it makes more sense so that it's even, because it's driving me bananas that it's not even. And it's not like, oh, I can just hold it at this spot and have that be the middle. I suppose I could, but it's not, you know, because the middle goes across from those. So, yeah. And then this. So I think I remember telling you that I tried it and it wasn't working and I didn't know what I was doing wrong, so I just quit. And then I had what I thought were two correct ones. I'm like, they don't look like the picture. What's going on? And when I was working, this is the third one. When I was working on this one, I realized that where it said 3 increase, it meant 3 in 1 stitch. It did not mean 3 stitches increase, which is why I was running out of real estate before I did it 6 times. So now this one is correct. But I hadn't FFO'd this one, so I pulled out everything, and this is more correct. I held it up next to the other two. I think I can still use the other two. But I'm like overlapping a stitch. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right to not have it there. It doesn't look right to have it there. So I have to think about that. That's why there's 2 ends. I took out the extra stitches, and I don't know why this one is extra. But I think I can use the ones I already made. And so I have this one that I will try again. It's very frustrating, but I'm learning something every time I make one. They're supposed to have 6 sides, and when I look at these first 2, I can kind of see where the 6 sides are. But they look, one of them looks really far away from the others. So, I don't know. It's supposed to be the same number of stitches in between. So, I'm not sure what's going on there. This one looks like 6 sides. You can't really see it, but it does. You know, here to this point to this point, this point to this point, this point to this point, this point to this point. Some places it's rounder than others, and I think that has to do with, and see, this one doesn't look right, so I'm gonna have to like fudge it or something. Anyway, I thought about just starting all of them over. But each one I learned a little something, and by the time I get the 11th one, it should be right? Yeah, so there's that. And then there's my blanket. Turn it right side up. I did a snowflake stitch. Let me see if I can, there's the beginning of it. This is going to be, this top one is going to be a feather stitch. So I started that over here. I really like these candles. Working on this, sometimes I'm frustrated because I'm like, I don't know how to do this. But mostly it gives me peace. Even with the reindeer, when I'm struggling, going, I don't know what I'm doing, it gives me peace. And that's the thing, I get that with the cross stitch too, you know, you kind of relax into it, and you enjoy it. Isn't that what our hobbies are for? So, anyway, I'm going to make these dogs realize that there's not any food that they're going to have, and go back to crocheting messes. I'm going to work on this reindeer until I get it right. The way I was taught to end things puts a lump, and I know there's another way to end them that doesn't put a lump. And every time I've tried that, I'm always afraid it'll come out. So I'm gonna have to see if there's another way to do it. So anyway, I will see you again in a week. Hopefully I'll have a finished pumpkin and a reindeer with most of the little things done for it. We'll see. And lots more cross stitch. Speaking of cross stitch, there's been some patterns, some of the most cute patterns that I'm sick everything I can do not to purchase them. So anyway, thanks for listening, and thank you for my new subscribers. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in a week.